Call to order the Alexander County Board of Commissioners meeting for September 9th, 2013. The invocation is going to be read by me, or said by me, and the Pledge of Allegiance is by Commissioner Darrell Robertson. So if you'd please stand. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour asking for your blessing and help as we are gathered together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work. Help us to work together and encourage each other to excellence. We ask that we would challenge each other to reach higher and farther to be the best we can be. We ask that you especially protect those that serve in the military that protect us from harm on a daily basis. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Yeah. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item on the agenda is the Commissioner's report. Does any Commissioner have any thing they would like to say or to report at this time?
Mr. Chairman, I'll just, we talked about this just a minute ago, but I'm going to have to be leaving early, and I've got some personal business. My wife's not feeling well, so I've got to go home. But I'm going to vote on these board appointments so we can get those taken care of, and I'll be leaving after that.
Does any other Commissioner have anything they would like to say? I have one thing I'd like to mention. This week, which is September the 9th through the 14th, is the 68th Annual Lions Club Agricultural Fair. As old as I am, quite frankly. But I thought it's important to let everybody know that's listening and watching that the fair is this week, and also it's important to know that just about every time we have the fair, it rains, and so it's not raining, and that's a good thing. So it's very important. It's a big fundraiser for the Lions Club, and they've been sponsoring it for many, many, many years. And so I just would encourage everyone to attend and go through the exhibit areas and, of course, ride all the rides and have fun and enjoy the entertainment. And it starts tonight, and it runs through Saturday evening, okay, the 9th through the 14th. Any other Commissioner have anything they want to report? In the essence of time, in the agenda, item number 7, which is board appointments and reappointments, we're going to move that to item number 1 so Ryan can leave and vote on it, then leave. So item 7 will now be item number 1. So do I hear a motion to adopt the agenda with that change?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. Board appointments and reappointments, and that is County Manager Rick French.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Region E Development Corporation, Western Piedmont Council of Government, reappoint Andrew Jackson, 3 years. Jury Commission, reappoint Bud Yost, 2 years. Health Board, appoint Jason Mull, 3 years. CVCC Board of Trustees, reappoint John Watts, 4 years. Firefighters Relief Fund Trustees, appoint Andrew Peeler for the Bethlehem Community Fire and Rescue, Kenneth Pennell for Ellendale Volunteer Fire Department, Steve Eisenhower for Wittenberg Volunteer Fire Department, and School Health Advisory Committee, appoint Judy Moose.
Do I hear a motion to approve these appointments?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. The next item on the agenda,
Thank
Ryan,
you.
thanks for staying and thanks for coming, and good luck to you.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is public comment, and we have one person signed up for public comment, and that's Judy K. Wood to talk about Bethlehem Day. So Judy, if you'd come to the podium, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Judy K. Wood, and I'm representing the Bethlehem Community Development Association. I'd like to remind everyone of the 4th Annual Bethlehem Day that will be held on Saturday, September the 28th, from 10 to 4 at the Lowe's Food Parking Lot in Bethlehem. The event features classic cars, arts and craft vendors, children's inflatables, and all are free to the public. As an extra special event, Cargo Transporters of Claremont is providing the Ride for Pride tractor trailer. The Ride for Pride was initiated by Freightliner Trucks as a way to recognize military veterans. It symbolizes respect and great pride for our servicemen and women. It features custom graphics that show support for active duty personnel, veterans, POW, MIAs, and American Legion Honor Guard, and all of their families. The truck has participated in the wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery, countless parades, and many functions honoring the support and supporting our veterans in their service and their sacrifice. The BCDA would like to extend an invitation to all veterans to come to see the tractor and trailer and accept our sincere thanks for serving our country. The Bethlehem Cub Scout Pack 275 will present the colors, and we welcome all veterans to be part of the Pledge of Allegiance at 10 a.m. For more information, you can go to bethlehem-cda.org or call 495-7775. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. The next item on the agenda is a report on the 32nd Annual Hidnight Center Celebration of the Arts. Karen Walker, Interim Hidnight Center Director. Karen?
Good evening, and thank y'all for letting me come. Commissioner Chairman Jennings and Commissioners and Mr. French, we appreciate the opportunity tonight to present our plans for the Hidnight Center's 32nd Annual Hidnight Celebration of the Arts. And the celebration event will be held Saturday, September the 28th, from 9 o'clock in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. That is on Church Street in Hidnight, and admission to the festival is free and it's open to the public. Hidnight Celebration of the Arts is a unique arts and cultural heritage street festival, and for years since 1981 has featured diversely talented artists, crafters, and performers. And truly, this is an event that offers something fun for everyone. The theme for this year's celebration is a North Carolina homecoming. So we try to plan our events around that theme. This year we have probably 50-plus art and craft vendors, plus our Folklife Pavilion presents about 40 traditional art and craft folks that are going to offer hands-on experiences for the folk traditional arts, including such things as butter churning, open fire cooking, weaving, spinning, pottery, and much more. Hidnight Celebration of the Arts offers 4 live stages also with music and dance. That includes traditional folk music, gospel music, country music, and popular contemporary music. The entertainment will include the Iredell Choral Society and Catawba Bluegrass Bands, Emerald Squares, our local square dance club. Other dance troupes will include Irish dancers, the Cornfield Cloggers, and Ms. Donna's School of Dance, and also All That Dance School of Dance here in Alexander County also. The Hidnight Center is proud to also bring back the popular Appalachian State University Steely Pan Drum Band, and that's always a crowd pleaser, and so they'll be on the Hidnight Baptist stage at noon. Another added feature this year that we're real excited about is the Carolina Prospectors from Statesville will be bringing an interactive Going for the Gold sluicing trough. This will be a free activity for anybody that wants to participate, and you'll be able to have the opportunity to pan for gold and gems free of charge. As always, celebration will include fun activities for the young and young at heart. Some of those things will be the giant slide, bounce house activities, face painting, balloons. And then one of the favorite things about celebration seems to always be the food. So again, this year we have a diverse festival food vendors. They'll be presenting all those tasty treats that you look for at a festival. Another thing that we presented last year that was popular and we wanted to bring back this year is the Victorian horse and carriage rides. And that'll be departing from the Lucas Mansion throughout the day. You can get your tickets for that at the Lucas Mansion. And speaking of the Lucas Mansion, we will be open that day throughout the house. Folks can tour the museum for $1 that day. They get not a guided tour, but a walk-through tour, so they can see the collections there in the Lucas Mansion. Throughout the house also, they can go in and see the art gallery, the doll collection, and the gem and mineral collection. Also, as a part of the Lucas Mansion now, we're proud and excited about the Visitor Center being housed there at the Hidnight Center. We thank y'all again for making that possible, that we could work with the county to present that to the folks as they pass through or live here and need to have their questions answered about the county. And in the art gallery on the second floor, our featured exhibit is Jerry Kirk, his landscape paintings that feature landscapes from across the state of North Carolina. He is a Charlotte artist, and he will be there Saturday afternoon on the 28th to meet and greet folks as well and be our representative there in the gallery. We can be reached by visiting the Hidnight Center's website, www.hidnightcenter.com. You can learn more about our ongoing events and programs. You can also sign up there for our new e-newsletter and find links to us on Facebook and YouTube. Prior to actual celebration day, we kick off on Saturday with a celebration kickoff dance. The Emerald Squares is the Square Dance Club here in Alexander County. They invite everyone to come out and dance with them. Square dancing is kind of a lost art or tradition, and they're trying to keep that alive. So they're eager to have folks join them for that dance, and that starts at 7 o'clock. Sunday afternoon on the 22nd, we have our celebration gospel sing at 3 o'clock, and that is free. Come out, enjoy good gospel music, and support the Hidnight Center there. Tuesday, we have our senior adult luncheon. We have, throughout the years, recognized and celebrated our senior citizens, and we have a program planned for that day along with lunch, and that starts at 10 a.m. Thursday night, we have Mr. Marvel's Magic Show coming to the Hidnight Center for a family night celebration. So that's at 7 p.m. with a kid-friendly meal plan for that night. And we just want to thank you as commissioners for allowing the Hidnight Center to present celebration and for your support of us throughout the year, and to the other funders of the Hidnight Center. So thank you, and I hope all of you can make it to celebration.
Karen, thank you. Next on the agenda, Citizens for the Future of Alexander County Public Forum. And I think Kathy Riddle is going to present the information about that.
Good evening, and thank you for allowing me to speak. Citizens for the Future of Alexander County are ready to host the first public forum this Thursday evening, September 12th, from 7 to 9 p.m. here in this room at CVCC. As one of the representatives of CFAC, I am here this evening for two purposes. One, to ask the county commissioners to endorse this public forum, plus again, extend an invitation to each of you to participate Thursday evening, and to remind residents to come, participate, and get involved in your community, because we are sure there are citizens with ideas which will help bring about positive changes to create jobs and build our economy. This forum provides an opportunity for everyone to present those ideas. We have 4 major goals: revitalizing the local economy, creating a cultural arts community, developing a retirement community, and travel and tourism. Everyone who comes will be participating in brainstorming sessions in each of these areas. We know people have good suggestions and great ideas that can be incorporated into plans that will help create a stronger financial future for Alexander County. I would like to think that the commissioners appreciate knowing there are citizens who can help them solve problems and who can participate in a cooperative manner and make Alexander County a better place to live, to work, and to play. It's like I said last month when I made the public comment announcing this event, when I quoted Margaret Mead, who said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful citizens, committed citizens, can change the world. It's the only thing that ever has." So, since Alexander County has been identified by the state as economically stressed, something not only needs to be done, but must be done to change that. And together, we can do this. With all citizens working together for a common goal, it can and will be done. And therefore, I respectfully request that the county commissioners endorse CFAC's public forum. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. The chairman entertains a motion to support the public forum on September 12th at the CVC Alexander campus. Do I hear a motion in support of that public forum?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. And is it approved? And we strongly encourage everyone that's listening, everyone that's watching, to come to the Commissioners' Room on September 12th between 7 and 9 p.m. to discuss the topics that Kathy just covered: travel and tourism development, developing retirement opportunities, revitalizing the local economy, creating a cultural arts environment. And I have the flyer that's here. And Chad, I don't know if you can get this on camera. If you can, that's great. If you cannot, but I would encourage everybody to come, and it will be interactive, and will be a work session to come up with ideas on how to move forward on these projects. So look forward to seeing everyone. The next item on the agenda is Alexander Christian Academy report. Greg and Angela Getler, founders of Alexander Christian Academy. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Commissioners, for allowing us to be here tonight. We are excited to tell you about Alexander Christian Academy, and we have a PowerPoint that we would like to show you, and we'll talk through it. And we are imparting wisdom. We are founded on the truth. And the next slide will tell you just a little bit about who we are. I'll read it to you. We are a Christ-centered, private, non-denominational, independently supported life preparatory Christian academy. Alexander Christian Academy is a nonprofit school that is supported by churches, businesses, and individuals. We will equip students with the Word of God, wisdom, and truth through high-quality Christian education and revelation from the Holy Spirit. We believe that the students who come through the doors of Alexander Christian Academy should be more prepared than any other students to enter college, the workforce, the pulpit, or their mission fields. We desire to discover and call out the God-given strengths and talents and abilities in children so they can flourish in their gifting and calling as early as possible as well as possible. And the next slide just tells you it breaks it down just a little bit more about what we do. We are a tax-exempt nonprofit organization. We are organized under Life Prep Projects Incorporated, and we will show you our board members throughout our presentation so you can see a little bit about how we are organized and structured. We do not have a set tuition per child. We are asking that churches and businesses and individuals would help to support this. We want to be cost-effective for families. We know that high-quality Christian education can be so expensive, and we truly want to provide Christian education for children, and we want to make it cost-effective for families. So we ask that parents ask the Lord, and they give as they can, that they come to Christ-centered parenting classes, which are like a Bible study once a month, and then they volunteer as often as they can, but at least try to get in 10 hours every semester, because the more visible you are in your child's education, the more important they know it is to you and to them. And so we are seeking to partner with all of the churches of Alexander County. We are non-denominational, and we really want to see the Church of Alexander County come together to equip the children to the best of our ability as the Lord directs us and leads us. And right now, we are currently enrolling 3- and 4-year-olds. They come Monday through Friday. They are there from 8:45 until 12:30. And our kindergarten through 6th grades, we are also enrolling still for them kindergarten through 6th grades this year. And they come Monday through Friday as well, 8:45 to 2. Drop-off begins at 8:30 for all of our kids, and then we start our morning worship time at 8:45. And we are seeking to extend our hours for our younger children. We are in process. We thought we would have a year to get this all together, and it has happened incredibly quick. But by January, we are hoping to have our hours extended to be able to offer some before and after school care as well. This is our sign. We are located in Bethlehem right now. It is the former Country Care Child Development Center, and it's currently Community Christian Fellowship where Pastor Neil Bowman's church meets. We are there rent-free, utility-free. They are giving us that building to use as a ministry to our school, and it is, we are so incredibly thankful for how they have supported our school. And this is our staff, our current staff, with one exception. We had one on a honeymoon when we took our picture. But when we added up all of our years of experience, we have over 100 years of experience, and our staff are so highly qualified. I can't speak highly enough about them and how incredible they are and what a blessing they are to us. We have just been so thankful that the Lord has brought us together. And I'll tell you a little bit more about our staff on the next slide. Miss Wendy Webb is our 3-year-old teacher and our art instructor. You may know Wendy from Head Start. She was previously there for 19 years. Miss Katie Clack is our 3-year-old assistant. Miss Kathy Carson is our 4-year-old teacher, and she has over 30 years of experience with 4-year-olds. She is Pastor Carson Mosley, or Pastor, I got her name wrong again, didn't I? Kathy Mosley, and but she's Pastor Carson's wife from Three Forks Baptist Church. Jenna Gallagher is our 4-year-old and technology assistant. I am the executive director of the lower grades teacher, and we are co-founders. Miss Cindy Thomas is our 4th through 6th grade teacher. Miss Kathy Reese is our office administrator. Craig is teaching PE, and as well as helping me with lots of administrative details. And Miss Monica Herman is coming to volunteer to teach music. All of our staff are there right now as volunteers, and we have set a payroll and are believing for money to pay them, and as the Lord provides, then we will be able to pay our staff. This is our board of directors for Life Prep Projects, which is our nonprofit, and we'll go quickly through who they are. If you'll go to the next slide, thank you. This is just a little bit about Greg and I. I grew up here in Alexander County, graduated from Alexander Central, went to Appalachian, got my degree, moved to Greensboro, and I've been teaching in Guilford County for the last 13 years. I met Greg there, and we have two little boys, and we're serving in our church, and truly had just told the Lord that we would do whatever he wanted us to do. And in March, the Lord began to just give us a desire to open a Christian school in Alexander County. And by May, we knew what the Lord was asking us to do. And our church sent us as missionaries to plant this school in this county. And they support us in prayer and in their covering, and they sent us here. And we are here to open his school. We've called it God's School from the beginning because it's been his, and we thought we would open next year. But the Lord had a different plan, so we're trying our best to follow after him. And Greg's owned and operated his own business for the last 8 years and managed it, as well as helping to raise our young men as well from home. If you go on to the next slide, please. This is Miss Kathy Reese. She owned Country Care Child Development Center. For 20 years, she ran that building and that daycare. She is on our board. She is the Secretary of Life Prep Projects and our office administrator for Alexander Christian Academy, and such an asset to our school. The next slide talks about Pastor Neil Bowman. He's a senior pastor of Community Christian Fellowship, which is the building that we're currently meeting in. And he has done lots of things with prison ministry, and he's the director for Caring Hearts Pregnancy Center. He's on their board. He's going to be on our board for Life Prep and for Alexander Christian Academy. The next slide talks about Mr. George Matthews, who is a CPA in Greensboro. He has over 30 years of experience and 6 years as a chief financial officer for several large contractors, and he's a director on our board as well as a financial advisor for us. If you'll go on to the next slide, please. It talks about Miss Janet Ward Black. Miss Janet Ward Black is a very dear friend of mine, but she is on our board as well. There are many things we could say about her, but she is she served as president of the North Carolina Association for Trial Lawyers and as president of the North Carolina Bar Association. She is trustee emeritus of the Hood Theological Seminary, has served on many nonprofit boards, and she will be a director on our board as well as a lawyer that we will confide in at times as we need legal help and direction. So we are thankful that she's on our board. Our next board member is also she's from the High Point area. This is Miss Karen McNeil, and she has a tremendous amount of things that she has experience in. She's the president of McNeil Communications, which is a marketing firm that's headquartered in High Point, And she had a career in journalism and did a lot of communication things for several other places, as you can see. And she was an award-winning broadcast journalist and news anchor in Lexington, Kentucky as well. So she is on our board as well. So the Lord has sent us well-qualified people who are partnering with us in this endeavor. If you'll go on to the next slide, we are members of ACSI, which is the Association of Christian Schools Internationals. I'm not going to read all of that to you, but it tells you a little bit about what ACSI does. And there are lots of benefits that we have because we are members of that. If you'll go to the next slide, these are just some things that we'll be able to do through ACSI. We will be able to provide professional development opportunities and continuing education credits for our staff so that they can maintain their state license that they already have, and we can assist with the renewal of those. We want to keep them certified and keep them up to date with their CEUs. We will be able to offer certification through ACSI from early education through grade 12 teachers. We'll be able to offer ACSI certification, which will be a Christian school certification. And we can also eventually get ACSI and SACS accreditation through this membership. So we're thankful to be a part of a community that has a wealth of knowledge as we are starting out, because we aren't coming into this saying that we have all the answers or know everything at all, but the Lord has given us people who do know what they're doing and given us well-qualified and well-experienced people and organizations that we can partner with. So we are an ACSI school. On the next slide, you can see a little bit about, we've finished our first week of school, and this is our part of our three-year-old class with Miss Wendy and Miss Katie. And Miss Wendy has 19 years of experience in Head Start, so she is highly qualified in that classroom. And Miss Katie has experience with three-year-olds as well, several years. If you'll go on to the next slide, you see a few more of just their fun times they had last week. Just some precious children. And then the next slide, it just tells a little bit about our 3- and 4-year-old preschool students. They're going to be part of our junior academy. Right now they're in school for 4 hours a day. We are hoping to extend that to 6.5 very soon. And they are learning social skills, and they're learning educational skills, learning how to do lots of things to prepare them to learn in a classroom environment. So it's very important what they're doing. On the next slide, you'll see a little bit about our 4-year-old classroom. Miss Kathy, like I said, has 30 years of experience with 4-year-olds and is such an incredible teacher. Just so loving with those kids. And Miss Jenna's been so wonderful with them as well, and she is also helping us with technology things. We're very thankful to have partnered with them. The next slide talks about our kindergarten through 3rd grade program, and we're using learning stations and also an individualized curriculum, which is called ACE, and we'll show you a little bit more about that. We have a very low student-to-teacher ratio, and we hope to maintain that to some extent, because once you get so many kids in a classroom, it's really hard to meet all their needs individually. And as a teacher for 13 years and averaging at least 25 kids in my room, I understand how hard it is to meet those needs. And they're going to do monthly service projects, and we're hoping to build their leadership skills through that as well. You can go to the next slide. It just shows a little bit of our small group instruction. That is the class that I'm teaching, and we're actually adding to that daily. We've got a new one today. The next slide talks about our 4th through 6th graders. They're using ACE as well, and they're also using learning stations as well as other learning opportunities. They do have a low student-to-teacher ratio as well. We want to meet their spiritual and educational needs, and they are going to have a lot of leadership roles in our school. They're responsible for presenting every month at our morning worship time. It's their job to lead our devotion time and to come up with their presentation and to present it to our entire student body. And they are already so excited about it and getting their ideas. So we're excited to offer that opportunity. And the next slide shows their part of their classroom, and they are working so hard and learning so much in there. And Miss Cindy Thomas that's in there has over 20 years of experience and had actually already taught the ACE curriculum and was very familiar with it. So she has become our testing coordinator as well as my ACE expert because I left public school to go into Christian school, and I'm learning as well. And she has a wealth of knowledge, and it's been amazing to see how even our curriculum has been provided by the Lord, and He continues to meet our needs in such amazing ways. The next slide talks about just some enrichment opportunities that our kids have. Right now, they have art every Monday and Wednesday with Miss Wendy, who is an art educator as well. She's an art instructor, and they have PE on Tuesdays and Thursdays with Coach Gettler, and they have music every Friday. So they do have those special classes as well, and we are going to include technology into that. They are eligible to compete in county competitions like the Science Fair and Spelling Bee, and they're already excited about those things. And we are planning field trips, so we're hoping to be able to provide all of the enrichment opportunities that we are able to for them. The next slide shows a little bit more about our ACE curriculum, and it is self-paced, and that's a really great thing for a lot of our kids, because they progress as they master each skill. When they come, they all have to take a placement test, and we order curriculum for them exactly what they need for where they are. If they are a 6th grade student, but they read on an 8th grade level, then we order 8th grade reading stuff. But if they're a 6th grader and they test on a 4th grade math level, then we go back and meet those skills. We're able to we're able to meet their needs where they are. And the curriculum we order are like our textbooks, and we use them just like a textbook is used in public school. And that's not the only thing that we do in school. We have stations and learning centers and manipulatives and hands-on learning, but we also have our PACEs that the kids use. And they use it in class for their independent work, and they also use it for homework. So we're not having to spend a lot of time or money making copies for homework. So I've really enjoyed getting to know more about this curriculum. So if you can just go through the next 2 slides, they're just more about our curriculum. And you can go to the last slide if that's okay. And if you want to find out more, this is our website, and there's a lot of information on there about our curriculum. There's a lot of information about our staff. We're trying to keep current blogs to the best of our ability. Our phone number, we can be reached at 598-0109. We are located in Bethlehem, and so that's off Eichard Ridge Road, 3919 Eichard Ridge Road. If you'd like to get more information, just contact us through our website or give us a call. We'd love to talk to you. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Angela and Gail, that's a good presentation. Next on the agenda is Mr. Russell Green, who is going to talk about multi-jurisdiction hazard mitigation plan.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, forgive my tardiness. I met Commissioner Mayberry in the parking lot, and I thought, man, I've missed the meeting. But he did explain to me he had to leave for some personal reasons, and I certainly respect that. I'm here tonight to talk just a few moments about a hazard mitigation plan and to give a little bit of background. Senate Bill 300 and the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000 mandated each county and municipality to develop and implement a hazard mitigation plan. Failure to have a complete and approved plan would mean loss of eligibility for post-disaster funds and mitigation grant funds. And we just seen that possibility for Alexander County with the flooding in Tobey County. They met their federal threshold, and therefore being contiguous county, any of our folks that had damage were eligible for some federal assistance. Without an approved mitigation plan, we would not have been eligible. So that's one way it impacts us right off the bat. The purpose of the mitigation plan is to identify those critical areas and facilities within Alexander County that may be affected by natural and man-made disasters and recommend potential solutions that may effectively reduce or prevent catastrophic damages, casualties, physical or financial losses. Commissioner Robinson said it one night better than I ever could. Planning's great because it brings the right people to the table. You sit down, you talk about the possibilities, you work through that, you look at potential solutions. Chad, if you'd pull up that's a little hard to read, and I apologize. I didn't get the time today with Chad to work on this like I should because I was out at Sugarloaf with the fire department. Our mitigation plan was written to meet the federal standard in 2009 originally. It was updated on the 5-year cycle in 2014. At that time, we used some grant dollars to pay a contractor for that. Those grant dollars are drying up and going away. That being said, 2 years ago, a representative from Emergency Management applied for federal grant to look at regional plans. As it currently stands, there were 135 multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plans in the state of North Carolina, that typically being the counties and the cities that they included. But there were 135 in the state. The grant was written to do regional plans because we typically are somewhat like our neighbors. And the reason I wanted to put this slide up there, it identifies, Alexander County's in that first column, it identified the hazards that we addressed in our original plan, But if you see Burke County, Caldwell County, Catawba County in the state plan, our plans were all pretty much consistent. So that's more justification for a regional plan. The grant was funded for regional plans. I think we're about the fourth or fifth group in the state to approach a regional plan. That being said, I said I wanted to share that with you, kind of see where the plan was and where we're headed. Chad, if you'd hit the next one, I think it shows just that's some of the maps and stuff, and we've started this process. Our planner, Mr. Seth Harris, and I have attended 2 meetings that were held at the Western Piedmont Council of Governments. This being a regional plan process, Catawba County's planner, Miss Mary George, is kind of heading that up. I am serving currently as the contact for Alexander County. Mr. Pilkington is serving as the contact for the town of Taylorsville through the COG as their planner. You know that because of some medical issues, we lost Mr. Harris, and I certainly appreciate that last week you appointed Mr. Kenny to serve on a temporary basis, and that's great. He'll be part of this process. We selected a company that's going to do this. We've had the first couple meetings, and that's where these slides came from. Chad, if you go to the next one. Okay. The biggest purpose for me being here tonight is to make you aware that we're just getting started good in the planning process, number one. And number two, we're seeking public input. As any plan, federal requirement, you have to have a certain amount of federal or community input. You want to get all you can. And you know yourself, we're familiar with having public hearings and having, a handful of people show up. It was strongly recommended through another county. They did this in the past. They used a little thing called the Survey Monkey. And it's basically a group of questions. But if you go to alexalert.org, it will pull up this page. And if you look in the top right-hand corner where the arrow is, thank you, Chad, the Hazard Mitigation Survey. We would encourage citizens to go to this, click on that button, and it will take you, I hope, to the next screen. I think it's on there. That gets you started. That's the screen that will come up when you click on that, and it explains the hazard mitigation process. It gives you the contacts for each of the 4 counties that are serving as key contact individuals. And then at the bottom, when you hit next, it'll take you into a simple 19-question survey. I actually completed this survey myself just in the last couple of days. And it probably takes 15 to 20 minutes. Now, a person that reads faster than I do, and that's just about everybody out there, it's probably going to take them about 10 to 12. But it took me about 15 to 20 minutes. Great little survey. It's basically it's what's important to you as a citizen, what you want to see addressed, and all that information will be compiled and put together. The process will culminate with a proposed plan coming back. I'll be standing here presenting that to you as a board for your review. You'll get plenty of time to look at it. It will require your approval contingent upon federal review. In the past, we've sent those forward. They review it, send it back, something's wrong with it. Well, if we've already approved it here, we got to start the process over essentially with the Board of Commissioners. So the procedure at this point is we come to you for your approval contingent on federal review. It goes to the state of North Carolina for review, gets forwarded on to FEMA, Region 4 in Atlanta. It gets reviewed, it gets sent back. Yeah, it looks good, it's a good plan. Then it's adopted by the local board. I know that's kind of the quick version. I apologize, Mr. Chairman. I know you heard that last week in the LEPC meeting, so you got to hear it twice now. I hope it was a little smoother today. But I'd be happy to entertain any questions if I can answer them. If not, I'll tell you, I'll find you the answer.
Chad, can you go back one slide? The times we live in Russell, it just pops out to me, the current terror alert status,
Yes, sir.
knowing the discussions that are going on in Washington right now. What would the average citizen in Alexander County need to do or be aware of as far as that current terror alert status? I mean, I realize that we're not a New York City, we're not a San Francisco, we're not a major city, but how can we follow what's going on there? Going to this website?
Well, if you go to alexalert.org, Chad, and I give Chad Ritchie, our technology person, all the credit in the world because he put this website together. It automatically populates, so it keeps that terror alert active. So if they change the alert, it comes up here. You'll see on there are no active watches or warnings based over on the Alex Alert Twitter. That's basically weather alerts. That automatically populates when there's a weather alert goes up. So with the technology, and you know I'm not a technology person, but with the technology, if you'll occasionally click on this page, that information pops up here,
Okay,
and you'll be able to stay current with that information. Yes, sir.
okay. Great.
Yes, sir.
Russell, this, basically it's four counties that make up Unifor.
Yes, sir. The
Council
4
government,
counties
sir.
and the 24 municipalities,
Yeah.
cities, towns, or villages.
And the 24 and the 4 counties all approve it before it goes, but
Yes, sir.
multi-jurisdictional, did they reduce state/federal funds when they combined us? Because usually that's one thing that happens.
Yes, sir, they did. I can't tell you the numbers they cut back, but that was one thing to keep the funding going to regional was a plus. And cutting from the 135 plans down to probably, I'm going to guess when this process is finished throughout the cycle, there are going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 plans to 50 plans in the state of North Carolina versus the 135 we had prior to regionalization.
I'm impressed.
I understand.
And when they do that now, they're gonna cut funding to local. And you mentioned that, state and federal agencies will review and approve the plan.
Yes, sir.
Just out of dumb curiosity, how many state and federal agencies will review and approve it?
Well, North Carolina State Emergency Management is the one state agency. It goes through their division, they approve. They forward it on to FEMA. I'm trying to be positive about this. When we did this in 2009 as the update, it got to Raleigh and got lost. Got an email that said they had everything they needed from us. The federal guidance says they've got 180 days to review it and respond. 180 days, I called and checked on it. We're looking for it. Another month went by, I called my state contact. I said, can you help me find my plan? I know we paid the lady, it's written, it's done, it's down there. He called, and they said, well, we don't have everything. So we set up a conference call, got on the conference call, went back and forth. To make a long story short, I said, well, I can send you the email you sent me that said you had everything. Well, as soon as I produced the email that said they had everything, it's amazing they found it. We went another 90 days, got their approval. They forwarded it on to FEMA. Went to FEMA. I was told it looked good to FEMA, but I never got the letter back. So I was in Raleigh in a meeting, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 months after that, and I walked down the hall and I knocked on the mitigation officer's desk and on his door, and I said, remember me? And he said, yeah. And I said, where's my plan? He said, well, your plan's been filed away. I said, well, it'd be nice if you'd send us a letter and let us know it's good. It got lost on somebody's desk. But at that time, they were going through mitigation officers, kind of like we changed socks, I think.
It doesn't matter.
That's
It
exactly right.
absolutely doesn't matter. It's called emergency services. And what I'm getting around to, Russell, Alexander County and our neighboring counties, we have good people working in emergency services, professional and volunteers. And I don't want these comments to reflect on them at all because they do a fantastic job. But it bothers me, Berkey mentioned terrorist-type threats. There are all kinds of problems. And when you have inefficiencies at state and federal levels, that makes it tough for our local people. And that's what I was getting around to, because the cuts, and I'll give you a chance to check this, but I would wager that the cuts are local, that the bureaucrats in Raleigh and Washington are still there, and they're not going to do anything to improve their efficiency till local people get fed up with them and say, look, we're doing our job, it's time for you to do your job. We're talking about the Unifor area now. Alexander County has had for a number of years mutual agreements with our neighboring counties.
Yes, sir.
2 of those counties are in the Unifor, 2 of them are not, Iredell and Wilkes. Will those relationships continue, and how do you compare, because of the way they're doing this, that would be 2 other regional plans for us to mesh with. Is that going to happen in this process?
Well, the relationship as far as the response side, this won't impact that whatsoever. We'll still have that working relationship with the Wilkes, and they had to break up into smaller regions. So we went with the Unifor is kind of the natural standard where everybody refers to us as the Unifor. I know that Caldwell, Watauga, I think it's Avery and one other make up a group. I'd have to check and see which one Iredell, but my guess is Iredell's part of southerly direction because of the nuclear stuff. But this is for us, if the funding's available to mitigate some of our problems that we see with this. This should not impact the response side whatsoever when it comes to that piece. And I know that's always a concern with everybody, but we continue to have that great working relationship. And I certainly appreciate your comments about state and federal, because I have repeated your comments, not knowing you were going to make them, but I've shared those in Raleigh a few times, because I went down there to a couple of meetings and I kept hearing this thing that this will make the counties work together. And I heard that about my limit on about the third version. And I said, the problem's not at the local level, fellas. The problem's here in Raleigh. I said, stop standing in front of that group and tell them this is going to make the counties work together, because the counties working together is not the issue. It's the departments in Raleigh working together that we always have to battle with. And we've said that repeatedly, because, as you know, I serve on the State Regionalization Committee, and I wind up going to Raleigh once a quarter for a meeting. And I chair DIPRA 8, which is a 12-county region. And there's nine of those regions in the state. And I think we've got a pretty vocal group. We share your comments exactly every day with, and we meet once a quarter with the State Director of Emergency Management. He understands our concerns, and I think he's listening. And we've got a new group, but I really think he's listening. But I appreciate those comments, because I'm glad to know you feel like I feel about that. Like I said, I'd be happy to check on anything or answer any questions I can. If not, I'll find the answer.
And Russell, if you would, take good notes when you're meeting with people in Raleigh and Washington. Just let us know how much more efficient they have become, if you wouldn't mind.
I can tell you I can save a lot of paper. I can save a lot of paper.
Save a lot of paper.
Well,
yeah.
No, but we need it, because when you look at, and one reason I wanted to go back and ask these questions is because at the local level, our EMS, our fire departments, our sheriff, everybody works together. If you go to the eastern part of the county, you go to the western part, they work with the neighboring counties. Iredell, Wilkes, Caldwell, Catawba, we've always worked with them. And when you're talking about something like this, it's, well, why have our counties not been working together? The counties have.
That's right.
And we'll continue to work together, but it concerns me when the bureaucrats get involved.
I understand, Commissioner Robertson, and I can tell you the best part of my job is that working relationship with the volunteers in the surrounding counties. You gentlemen have said, ladies have said this, without our volunteers, we could not do it, and we know that. And I could not stand here without bragging on our volunteers, because they do a great job, whether it's across the county line or within the county. I've spent the day with Sugarloaf. They're working on an ISO rating. Those gentlemen and ladies up there are doing that to potentially lower the insurance premiums for the residents in their district. And that's the only reason they're doing it. It'll benefit them the same way it does everybody else. But they put a lot of extra effort to get there. So I certainly appreciate your comments, and I can tell you the good part of my job is working with the volunteers and my counterparts in the surrounding counties, because I know when I go to Raleigh, I can say, I hear people say, well, I can't get anything out of the school system. I can't get the DSS director to even talk to me. I can't imagine living like that, because I couldn't do it, because I'm used to picking up the phone, calling Cindy and say, you know, can you help me with this? And she does the same thing, and we work together hand in hand. But I can't imagine some of the comments I hear about, I can't get the superintendent to talk to me. Never had that issue. I don't know how I would react if I couldn't talk to him, if I couldn't get an answer to a question, because I think I'd be lost. But that's just not how we do business in Alexander County.
Any other comments from any other commissioners? Russell, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
No, just I strongly encourage the public to pull up this website, and if you don't have a computer, when you're at the library, take a few minutes, go on there and complete this. It's called a Survey Monkey, and when I called Chad this morning, he said we don't allow animals on the website. I said, I understand, but please put this one on there. So please take a minute, go to the Survey Monkey and answer those questions. I would appreciate it.
Russell, by the way, I just sitting here looking, I didn't hear you saying that, but these people need to understand they have to sign up for this code red alerts also.
Yes, sir.
They've got to sign up for that. It
It's
just doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's not an opt-out, it's an
Right.
opt-in. You go on that code red at the bottom, check that, it'll ask you to put in, you can put up to 2 phone numbers every time you put your name in there. So you can put your cell phone and your home phone, you can go back and put your wife's phone, your office phone, whatever, and when those alerts go out, they'll come to your phone. Yeah, it's absolutely, Commissioner Yoder, that's an opt-in, not an opt-out.
And that's an important thing. I remember a few years ago when the tornado came across Lake Hickory, and just happened to have already opted into this, and I was getting the alerts that, you know, a tornado was going across Lake Hickory about a quarter of a mile from my house.
Just before it passed your house.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great program, and we're fortunate to have that in the county. It is somewhat of an expense, but we've got great results out of it so far.
Russell, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
The next item on the agenda is the sales tax report. County Manager Rick French.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The numbers you have in your agenda package tonight will show the final numbers for the 2012-2013 fiscal year. We budgeted $3,609,000 for the 2012-2013 fiscal year. We collected $3,645,189. So we were over budget in that regard. Compared to last year, we were $125,002 ahead, which is 3.55% increase. So that's good, but the thing to keep in mind is that really when it comes down to the dollars, it's what we're over on our budget numbers. The overall, the Article 42 sales tax hold harmless for school construction and debt service. We basically lost $101,609. So again, we've sort of been running the same numbers all throughout the year. So we collected 3.6, we budgeted 3.6, so at least it was positive in that regard. I'll be glad to answer any questions, Mr. Chairman.
Does any commissioner have any questions? No questions, then we'll move to the next item on the agenda is the budget ordinance amendments number 2 and number 3. Rick French.
Thank you. Budget amendment number 2 is to increase the senior center budget for the Title III-D Health Promotion Grant Funds with the 10% local match. The 10% local match of $311 will be accomplished by reducing another senior center expense line item, and to decrease the senior center budget for Senior Health Insurance Information Program, which is the SHIP grant. The grant funds for fiscal year 2014 are lower than original estimates. Budget amendment number 3 is to increase the Sheriff's Department budget for the Federal Justice Assistance Grant passed through the North Carolina Department of Public Safety, Governor's Crime Commission. The Board of Commissioners will require any change in grant scope from the grant application to be approved again by the Board of Commissioners. And that grant's for $9,854.50.
Any questions about these budget amendments?
How much matching grant goes into that?
Less than $1,000, and that money's in their budget.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve, presented.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. They're approved. The next item on the agenda, County Manager Rick French is canceling the scheduled September 23rd work session. Do you have any comments about that?
No, sir, we just, staff recommends we cancel the work session on the September 23rd. Our next regular meeting will be October the 7th, 2013.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is the county manager's report. County Manager Rick French.
Just one thing to mention, in conjunction with the Hidnight Festival, each year we've had the Hidnight Festival Road Race, and that'll be held on September 28th, Saturday. This will be our 7th Hidnight Festival Road Race. We have a half marathon, which is 13.1 miles, a 10K, which is 6.2 miles, and the 5K, which is 3.1 miles. That sort of gets Larry all excited just thinking about it.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
All races start at 8:30 Saturday
Ready to
morning. Race day registration is at Hidnight Elementary School, and for more information, call 632-9332 or go to the website, which is on the page listed in front of you. And that's all I have for tonight. Mr. Chairman, I have a few items for closed session.
Okay. The next thing on the agenda is the consent agenda. Do I hear a motion to adopt the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
I second it.
All in favor, raise your right hand. The consent agenda is approved. The next thing on the agenda is adjournment and moving into closed session. And closed session, North Carolina General Statute 143-318-11, parentheses A, parentheses 1, comma 2, comma 4, comma 5, and 6, to prevent disclosure of confidential information, degrees, prizes, or awards, economic development, contractual, and personnel. Do I hear a motion to adjourn into closed session?
So move.
I second it.
All in favor, raise your right hand. We stand adjourned to closed session.